I live in a day where we have multiple businesses. There's always something that is unexpected that happens, but I'm ready for it. And I am there to persevere through it because I changed my morning to start with purpose, to start with discipline, to start with routine. If you are tired of not feeling fit, tired of just not having a focus, tired of just not having the life you deserve, this is your place to be. I'm Jason Yarusi. Today we're talking about the most important minute of the day. So many years ago, I was working as a bartender, and each night I'd get back late on the way home, may stop at some of our friends' bars, have a couple of beers, and then the next morning I would just get up when I got up. Right. So finished a night in chaos and the next morning woke up in chaos. And you would wake up into this point of, okay, what do I do now? What do I need to finish? What's in front of me? What should be my schedule today? Where should I go? What should I do? And that was my life for many years. And I'm sure many of you can relate to this, where in fact, you have your day that just starts. You set your alarm, some perceived moment at 6:30 in the morning, 5:55 and 8:30. And when that alarm goes off, potentially you start to get up, or you get up, you hit the snooze button, you hang out for a couple more minutes, and then you meander through your morning and take yourself through the steps that you've done many times before taking yourself off to work or wherever you go on with your day. And the results that get you from that is that you start in a world of confusion for the day. And then ultimately your day gets more complex with more and more things thrown upon your shoulders until the day just ultimately ends. And then you repeat this over and over. And I found myself in this foray of just activity that wasn't productive. And I was doing the same things. I was doing these things that were not productive in my day. And I would do tasks that just weren't very good or fulfilling or wasn't carrying me forward to anything. And so what would happen? I would get lackluster results. And there was one day that I came upon myself, and it was after a couple of years of breaking out of the bars and working into real estate. And Peely is pregnant with one of our children, that it occurred to me that my kids are not going to wait for me to get up at the chosen time of that I want. And they're going to expect dad to be there. They're going to expect me. I don't have time for saying to them, well, let's let you figure out your morning while I go figure out mine. It was me having to get back to control. And when everything changed for me was this particular moment. I said I should get up earlier, but that's just words. We have many words we say, but the action has to follow those words. I talked this last weekend at this great event to a couple hundred real estate investors, and I talked a lot about multifamily investing. But part of this is that ultimately you have to look at your life where you are now. And then you have a few options. On the left side is where you stand today, broken. It could be broken in your fitness, your faith, your relationships, just in your investing, how much money you have in the bank. You could be broke literally, right? You could be broken that your body is broken down. It could be all these things. And that's a state you're in today. And you have to make a choice. Now, there comes a time where you don't make a choice. And in itself, that's still a choice not to act, not to go forward. So if there is no choice and the thing is to stay exactly where I am, then you are still making a choice, even if you're not in your mind mentally configuring some choice of what to do. Or there's the next thing, you make a choice to do something different, right? So you move yourself over just that one step. Now that choice maybe do something different in terms of the nature of what you've done before. Now these can be positive or negative. So if it's something that you choose to do that becomes negative, right? You decide to start taking drugs or start to go out there and cheat on your wife, right? Well, that leads you back to the first step, exactly where you were to begin this whole journey, as in a broken state. Or you go and choose to do something positive. Now, the next step is the action, right? The action could carry us back to the first part where it's very negative, or the action could carry us forward into a positive realm. And that positive action gets us to the results that we're seeking. So you have to look at how you're choosing each and every moment. And I was choosing to get up earlier, but I wasn't sticking to it. I wasn't putting my all into it. I wasn't doing the work to be committed. So some days I'd get up earlier, some days I wouldn't. And then just lo and behold, days just did what they did. And lo and behold, it still wasn't getting what I wanted. Until one day, I made the decision that I was going to get up at 4:32 a.m. And when I talk about this, it's always the question, why 4:32? Well, I made the decision that I had to say 4, 3, 2, 1, go and get out of bed. And that was the impetus, that was the start for everything. So each morning, 4:32 hits, and instead of thinking about it, instead of contemplating whether now a good time, 4, 3, 2, 1, go is stand up. Because once you're out of bed, once you're in that movement, once you have the energy going, once you get yourself into a position just standing upwards, then the day carries on. So I started a very methodical approach to the morning routine. Now, there's been a lot on this guy on Instagram I've seen with Ashton Hall with his overall part of a morning routine. Now, his morning routines work for him. It doesn't have to be yours, but I had to make something very particular, very specific, so I would get up with a purpose. And the talk here today is to choose a purpose to start the day. Because if you want results, you have to start the day with purpose. You can't start the day with just obligatory options of what might or might not happen in your day. You have to get up and say, this is what I'm going to do today. This is how I'm going to take action. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So I get up at 4:32, go and have a glass of water, throw some water on my face, go meditate, get a workout in, and then bring myself back to have time with my family before they get off into their day, into their little school and everything they do upon there. And what happened? I would set the tone for myself for how this day goes. And then everything after that now allowed me to be prepared mentally for what was to come. I'm sure many of you can relate. You start in chaos, and then everything that gets and happens throughout your day just feels so heavy, feels so important, feels so rushed, feels so dangerous because your mind is on this constant state of fear and reaction. But when you can take back 4, 3, 2, 1, go, your morning to set the stage for how you show up, to set the stage for how you're going to be ready for your day, you can now mentally be in a state to be prepared when those moments come up. And everything changed. I went from a very unroutine, chaotic day into a day that now still has chaos in it, right? I live in a day where we have multiple businesses. There's always something that is unexpected that happens, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready, conditioned, and I am there to persevere through it because I changed my morning to start with purpose, to start with discipline, to start with routine. And I've seen this work for so many other people. I was just at this conference and multiple people come up to me and just say, 432 has changed my life. Why? Because they set out with intent, set out with purpose, started the day with discipline, and got out of the way of choices that are already made for them. So how are you going to impart your day to be your best self? And you say, oh, I can't wake up at 4:32. No problem. Wake up at 6:54. Wake up at 5:43. It is what's going to get you going in the morning that's going to set the stage for your day, that's going to set the stage for you to go out there and take the control back of your life so you can live the 100 that you're truly destined to live. Now, I know it's not easy, but it is possible. And it's a choice because the choice comes if you are going to get up earlier, you have to go to bed earlier. And maybe part of your chaos is because you're taking the chaos that you're feeling in the day and you're carrying it forward to your night ritual. Your night ritual could be getting home and trying to relax by drinking or just doing things and just constantly things in your mind, right? Because you're not starting the day with purpose and everything's carrying over. It's time to take control back. It's time to set the tone. It's time to dictate where your life is going instead of life dictating for you. There's enough uncertainties that are going to happen in your life. There's enough curveballs. There's enough wild cards. There's enough of everything that's going to come upon your plate that you will not expect. So why not get back into control of the things you can control and see what happens and see what that does for you in your life? I guarantee by setting your day out with intention and with purpose, you're going to be driven. You're going to be a lion let out of a cage. You're going to be an inspired person ready to take on the world. And you're going to be fulfilled with that energy that brings you back because you know what has started is that you've started the morning doing exactly what you told yourself you're going to do when the rest of the world is still thinking about what possibly would be a good idea to try today. Take back your morning. Take back your life. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's get started today. All right, that's what I have for you today. I'm Jason Yarusi. If this was powerful, get out and share this message for somebody else. This is truly transformed so many lives and has been one of the most impactful things that I've been able to share with people when I get out to talk to audiences all around the country. All right, that's what I have for today. I'm Jason Yarusi. Let's do this.